What's 85 plus 25?
105?
Yes.
Wow. Hold up. 85
It's a
plus
head scratcher.
25. I will say 97.
What is 85 plus 25?
Oh my gosh.
I know.
85 plus 25?
Yep.
25, 5, 10, 8, 5, 6. 60?
60. Good job.
Well, our future definitely doesn't look bright. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name is Lurkadowski here of wearechange.org, and we have a packed house for you guys here today as we have some really incredible people in the house as we are going to be discussing a lot of very important news developments that are happening right now. As, of course, we got a surprise announcement by a U.S. senator that literally is trying to draft illegal migrants into the U.S. military. Funding from Ukraine is being cut out as we also will be talking about the Grand Theft Auto trailer, ancestral graffiti, art, mythology, advanced civilizations, plus a lot more, all here for the next 2 hours on thebestpoliticalshow.com. Don't forget to share this broadcast with your friends and family members. The conversation is definitely going to get spicy 1 hour into the conversation, as of course you could also participate in it by going to lukeunfiltered.com, signing up as a member. You as a member get to call in and ask us any questions you want in the spur of a moment. Unfiltered questions, unscreened questions, show us, ask us what you want, as the calls will be going in specifically at 8:30. Another way to contribute and be a part of this conversation is by going to mysuperchat.com, as of course we're going to be making sure that we read all of your support, all of your donations, all of your questions, all of your comments will be read here, whether they are YouTube chants, whether they are Rumble rants, and of course whether they are on mysuperchat.com, as of course you guys play a very key, important role in this conversation. And joining us for this really interesting conversation that is going to be going off in many different directions is the one and only Mirwan. Mirwan, for the people who don't know you, who are you?
I'm a graffiti artist, traditionally from Los Angeles, California. I've been exploring different realms with my art, and I've currently come into my new phase I call metaphysical surrealist. I'm a metaphysical surrealism.
Nice.
Awesome.
I am Clint Russell, host of Liberty Lockdown. I am 110% sure that those people are idiots and we're in a lot of danger. I was actually just in Connecticut, gave a speech there, and I'm thrilled to be back. I missed you guys. What's up, Steph?
Hey everyone, I'm Steph. You can find me at Steph We Are Change on Instagram. I'm very excited to get into this conversation. Luke brought me to the Bitcoin conference and showed me your art, and I loved it. I saw one of these really big posters with lots of different politicians and things. So, yeah, I'm super excited to meet you and to be able to share this conversation together.
And you put me under Bill Gates' butt. We'll talk about that, plus a lot more, all here on this broadcast, as, of course, Clint is going to be taking over next week. This week, we have some really awesome guests joining us. We got Josie the Outlaw coming on tomorrow. We got Vinny from Patrick Bet David's Valuetainment coming on Wednesday. And then the following week, Clint is taking over. And then I am doing a very big show in New Hampshire with some very special people. And then the following week, we're doing a really huge, incredible show with the Beanie Man, Charlie Kirk, and Tucker Carlson, along with myself and the rest of the Tim Crest crew, as we're going to be doing a live show from the TP USA Summit that's coming up in 2 weeks from now. So stay tuned for that, plus a lot more. As, of course, there's a lot of different news. Major neoconservative warmongers like Lindsey Graham changing his tune and doing a complete 180-degree turn when it comes to his support of Ukraine. As, of course, we have this video from him just today announcing this.
I will not vote for any aid until we secure our own border. Reform asylum, reform parole is possible to do. Democrats don't want to do it. All Republicans want to do it. I'm not helping Ukraine until we help ourselves.
Did hell freeze over? And does the government want to, does Lindsey Graham want to literally stop financing conflicts? What's going on here? I want to leave it to our panelists. What do you guys think is going on here?
Well, I'll start by saying it's quite clear that war is totally lost. If Lindsey Graham the biggest warmonger in modern American politics has seen enough, you know it's over. Sorry, Vlad Zelensky, obviously. It's amazing. Even a couple weeks ago, this guy was doubling and tripling down on this over and over and over again, saying that we will fund them until the end of time, and now suddenly he's concerned about border security. It's just laughable.
What changed?
I think that the reality on the ground is just so brutally in the favor of the Russians that he's like, okay, we're moving on to Iran or whatever the next.
I'm kind of skeptical because it's like, Lindsey Graham loves war. He loves financing war. This is what he had to say to Volodymyr Zelensky to his face, again, not so long ago. Here's a clip that I think is worth paying attention to in comparison to what he just announced to the American people.
Free or die.
Free or die.
Now you are free.
Yes.
And we will be.
And the Russians are dying. It's the best money we've ever spent.
Thank you so much.
No, it's...
Yeah, that money running out, as of course the United States faces a lot of very serious financial concerns. Bitcoin is up, gold went up, and now it's kind of stagnating there a little bit. But what's really going on here? I think from my kind of initial reaction, my perspective is something's afoot here, especially with the latest news that we have from Senator Dick Durbin, especially from all the other unconfirmed reports that we have of troop mobilization. I think definitely that there's something afoot here that doesn't add up. And I don't think Lindsey Graham is going to become a peacenik overnight. I think he loves war. He loves financing the military-industrial complex. He loves to serve the neoconservative interests in Washington, D.C., as well as the deep state, as well as the intelligence agencies that play a very key central role in starting and prolonging these conflicts. So what's really going on here? I think this is when we should have our ears kind of perked up here and looking at this situation from a very skeptical point of view, because when did Lindsey Graham become America first? That is something that is strange. That is something that isn't normal. And because it's not normal, we should be questioning the larger kind of methodology of what's really happening here, because anything and everything could be at play here, in my opinion.
You're obviously right. And, you know, it's just amazing to me that all of the rhetoric that they've utilized, particularly Lindsey Graham's utilized over the past year and a half, or going on almost 2 years now, the war with Russia and Ukraine, you know, defending democracy and, you know, the neoliberal world order and all this stuff. And it's like, it's all out the window, and all of a sudden our border comes first. Our border has not been his concern this entire time. And I think what it shows you is that the neoconservatives, when they're on their war propaganda kick, will just frame it in a way that sounds appealing to the broadest demographic of Americans. But the truth is that they never care. It's never about defending Ukraine. It's about feeding the military-industrial complex. And he, I believe, perceives an opportunity to feed them again, but with a different locale. My guess being that just yesterday we saw multiple military ships, warships. Why our warships are over in the Mediterranean, I don't know. But regardless, there has been strikes by alleged Houthi rebels in Yemen, and I think that could be the precursor to a broader conflict, and perhaps that's why he's willing to migrate away. That's my thought.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the kind of events unfold like they do currently in the Strait of Hormuz, and also more specifically in the Red Sea, where there has been some considerate action, especially with Yemenis rebel groups that, you know, everyone in the corporate media says are tied to, of course, the Iranian groups, as it's fair to say that the tensions kind of flared up in the Middle East. And is this kind of Lindsey Graham positioning away from Ukraine, saying, hey, we're kind of done with you. Now we're going to go over to Israel. Now we're going to try to have a war with Iran. Now we're going to expand this conflict here in this specific region. Is that really the larger shift that's happening here? As it's fair to say, in my opinion, the United States military isn't on its best footing, as they have prioritized a lot of woke, ESG, social indoctrination nonsense, and in reality haven't been really prioritizing, you know, things like recruitment, troop numbers, and of course being an efficient part of the military, as we heavily rely on a lot of technology that, of course, could be subverted, could be hacked. But when you look at the recruitment numbers, no one's really signing up for the military, because why would you? That makes no sense at all, especially with how horribly the troops were treated in the Iraq war, in the Afghanistan war, and all the other proxy wars that the United States has been involved in, where consideration and care for U.S. soldiers doesn't really happen.
Yeah, it's not a priority. And you just see the way the VA treats our troops when they get home. And you have we've actually lost, last I saw, we've lost more troops by their own hand when they return from battle than they did in the 20-year war on terror. I mean, that just goes to show how deeply immoral both those wars were, because they obviously they left a scar in our troops, but then also it shows how immoral our system is, that once these guys get home, they're basically left to their own accords to try and survive, and many of them can't. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with our stream. I think we might be having some problems on YouTube. I'm going to see if I could fix that. But Mir, you've been an anti-war activist for a very long time. Yeah. To me, it's just like, okay, here we go again. More warmongers are trying to warmonger. This is an absolute atrocity. What's your kind of feelings on everything that's happening in the Middle East and specifically in Ukraine as well?
Well, to me, I just